Alright everybody, welcome back to yet another episode prediction video for this week's up-and-coming episode of Fear the Walking Dead. This is Season 3, Episode 3, entitled TEOTWAWKI, I think? I'm not exactly sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's entitled TEOTWAWKI, T-E-O-T-W-A-W-K-I. You look at the title and you tell me if I'm saying it right, because I really don't know. I really don't know. Nonetheless, though, alright, TEOTWAWKI, Season 3, Episode 3. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Of course, this will contain spoilers for maybe the last couple of episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. And, it is what it is. Trying to predict some stuff, so, just keep that in mind. The synopsis as this episode is as follows. I will leave a link in the description down below for you guys to follow along on AMC.com if you guys want to read it for yourself. But the synopsis is this. Still finding their place, Alicia and Nick fall in with new crowds while Madison discovers Odo's past mimics that of her own. Okay, so Otto or Odo, whatever his last name is, Jeremiah basically, which is the father of that ranch, right? He's the dad. His past we really get to know because there's like a little I would say a promo, I guess, sort of. It's basically like a commercial that they sort of filmed. And this is supposed to be what happened before the end of the world. So basically he's actually a very, very smart guy. He's basically trying to provide a plan and a way for people to survive the end of the world. Now this is obviously completely chance that the end of the world's actually upon us right now, in this world, right? But nonetheless, he's got this plan called TEOTWAWKI, or again, whatever it's called, however you pronounce it. And that includes ways to like filter water and grow food and, all this stuff, conserve ammo, stockpile, medical supplies and everything like this. And this is basically a commercial that he had. And the reason why his past really mimics that of Madison's is because he's helping people, he's helping people learn how to prepare for the world, sort of, you know what I mean? Like he's preparing people for the end of the world, but that's still preparing people. Madison, obviously, she was a guidance counselor in a high school. She was preparing kids for what happened when they got outside of school and, really trying to prepare them for life in general, talking them through everything, through maybe suicide attempts and, all this other stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Just a general what guidance counselors do. I don't have to sit here and go into detail about it. But nonetheless, I mean, she tried to prepare people for what comes after high school. That's exactly what Jeremiah's doing here. He was trying to prepare people for the end of the world. So that's sort of what I take, of why her past mimics Otto's or Odo's, whatever his name is. I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but nonetheless, I apologize. Anyway, there was a really cool commercial. You guys can watch it on AMC.com. I will leave a link in the description below to the video. And you guys go ahead and watch that. Again, it's sort of like a pre-apocalypse commercial that him and his family made, to try to get people to buy his survival plan. And then it came with like a bucket of goodies and, that was like iodine pills and, stuff like this. It was just, I thought it was a really well put together. It sort of reminded me more of a commercial from the series Better Call Saul. We've seen tons of those commercials with, Saul obviously promoting his law firm and everything like this. But that's sort of what it kind of reminded me of here with this, with Fear the Walking Dead, which I thought was cool. I definitely did. I thought it was interesting. And this little commercial sort of gave us an inside look to what he's, really trying to accomplish. Now, as far as the promo for this episode goes, there really isn't one. There's this season on the Fear the Walking Dead. That's basically all we have. So I'm not going to really go into detail about that, but it is looking very, very good. But again, this is this season on Fear the Walking Dead. I don't want to go into detail about that because that's just, that can include so many more episodes, and we're not going to talk about that. It's just going to be useless because we're predicting this episode. But if you want me to go over it, make sure you let me know in the comment section below, and I will do just that. I'll make a separate video on it. But nonetheless, we have a sneak peek, guys. We have a sneak peek of Troy, we have Jake, and we have Jeremiah, basically all heading a meeting, okay? A meeting of their entire ranch, their town, their community, whatever you want to call it. Not really a town, but a community, on the ranch. And they're talking to him. They're having a little meeting, right? And everybody's really sitting down And Madison and Nicholas and Alicia, they're all there. They're not really saying anything or asking any questions, but their own people are asking their questions, basically saying, we can have time to mourn the people who died, of course, but what we really want to know is who shot down the helicopter, and what are we doing to get revenge on that? What are we doing to, trying to think of a word, can't think of it, but nonetheless, what are we trying to, or what are we doing to try to avenge that, I guess, would be a way to say it, right? So basically that's been explained in this little meeting that they're having. Again, very, very brief, but nonetheless, Jake basically says, as soon as we find out what we're up against, what we're dealing with, we'll obviously, go the right way to approach it and, obviously do something about it. His father is a little more direct, basically saying, if there's just one lunatic, we'll deal with it. If it's a small group, we'll deal with it. If it's a big group, we will deal with it. And then there's Troy, obviously the bit of the crazy brother, the guy who was kind of killing everybody back there at the military base, sort of being a psycho as usual. The one who has an eye, by the way, he didn't lose it, so we're good on that point. Nonetheless, Troy basically said, what he's trying to say, is no matter the size of the group, we will get revenge. That's what we're out for. Troy put it a little more bluntly, whereas his father sort of took the lighter approach, basically saying we will deal with it and, everything like that. But nonetheless, that's what was said there in the sneak peek. And then Jake made a really good point, we're not going to be sitting here talking about revenge until we know what we are up against. I apologize for the dogs. I'm going to go fucking kill them. So personally, I think this episode, we are really going to get to find out what sort of makes Jeremiah and his whole, group there, especially Jeremiah. I think we're going to get to find out a little bit more about him, more maybe him and Jake. Troy, we already know quite a bit about, what makes him tick. He's sort of just crazy, to be honest, and he goes to the extremes. I don't know if I would say he's crazy, but he goes to the extremes way too quickly. Nonetheless, though, I think we're going to find out what really makes Jeremiah and even Jake, because Jake follows in Jeremiah's footsteps, what makes them tick and, what makes them really do what they're trying to do here. Are they enforcing, this TEOTWAWKI plan that he previously had? Like, are we going to get to find out that they have an entire supply of food and medical supplies and ammo and all this, which they probably do, and that's most likely the reason why somebody is trying to attack them, shoot down that helicopter, basically get the helicopter out of their position, or possession rather, because maybe they want to stage an attack on the ranch. That could definitely be whoever's trying to screw them. They're trying to maybe stage an attack on the ranch, and of course, if they don't have a helicopter at their disposal, rather, it's going to be a little easier. They're not going to be able to get in the air and shoot down at them or anything like that. So it was definitely a smart idea, on their part, if that was what they're trying to do. I don't know if we're going to find out who shot the helicopter, because that would be a very good question to have answered, and I would love to know basically who killed Travis. But nonetheless, spoiler, I told you, if you didn't watch it, that's your fault. Spoiler, Travis is dead. That's right. Nonetheless, though, that's basically all we have to go on, guys. And I know, it's not a lot. We usually have a sneak peek and a promo, but now we only have a sneak peek and a little commercial, which I thought was cool. The commercial is really cool. So I'll definitely, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below, and you guys go check that out, because the commercial, I thought, was pretty darn neat, if I do say so myself. Nonetheless, though, thank you all so much for watching. Again, like I said, I think we're just going to, in this episode, I think we're going to get to find out more about this community that we're dealing with now. The ranch, that we're at, that our characters are at now. Also, there's scenes maybe that Strand is going to be in this episode too. But like I said, that was in this season on the Fear the Walking Dead. So I don't know if that's going to be in the next episode, but who knows? He looks to be in some trouble at like a dam or something with some people. So yeah, not sure what's going on there. But nonetheless, thank you all so much for watching. I know it was short. I apologize. But like I said, probably next week we'll start getting promos and sneak peeks a little more often, and we can go off of that. So I can't wait. I think this episode's going to be cool because of the whole TEOTWAWKI commercial thing, stockpiles of ammo and medical supplies and food. I think that's going to be neat to see if he really did, to put that plan into action, rather. I was trying to say that. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.